Hi folks, welcome to our video on exposure bracketing and ghosting correction. Let's drag and drop an exposure bracketing to load it. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about straight away. Objects naturally move while we take a series of pictures. People, vehicles, trees in the wind, everything moves in some way. If I go to HDR Fusion here, you can see in the first image that all the objects are in a specific position, and then in the second image a little time has passed, the objects have moved, and that continues throughout the series of exposures, that the objects keep moving. We have to address and rectify this problem in some way, and to do that we have this ghosting correction area on the right in HDR Fusion. The ghosting correction tries to establish where things have moved within the series of exposures, and then mainly tries to take these objects that have moved from the master image, from the main exposure or the best exposure. Let's switch on ghosting correction. It makes the necessary calculations and we can see the corrected image immediately. Up here we can see that it's removed quite a lot from the masking for the dark image, and a lot has been removed from the bright image. However, that means the objects are now sharp again. The people are portrayed reasonably well and there are no double images. If we want to optimize that a bit more, we can now activate automatic optimization. Let's do that. Number of different versions are created, and we can see that much more of the ghost and image correction is retained with a corresponding level of detail. So more details retained up here in the dark areas and in the bright exposure as well. There's a little more of the original exposure bracketing. However, at the same time, there's no ghosting on any of the objects, and the program does that automatically. In addition, here in this gradient tool, we can also limit the ghosting correction to certain areas of the image. If I click this one here for just the lower half of the image, however, we can see that very slight ghosting appears again. We can barely see it, but it is there. We could also increase the size of this gradient a little so that we have a little more ghosting correction at the bottom, but basically leave the top half alone. That's another way to get some more detail from the exposure bracketing. That generally works with exposure bracketing with any number of images, 3, 7, 9, 15, however many you want. The program does it all automatically for you. If we're happy with this configuration, we can go to post-processing to get our fully edited HDR image there, based on whichever preset you want to select or whichever HDR style you prefer. We've got all the details in the light, we have details in the shadow, and we still have sharp moving objects with no more double images. So, I hope you found that helpful, and see you in the next video.